Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Elma and this is Space for Inspiration and Change. If you're new here or you're seeing my face for the very first time, you're welcome. This is Space for Inspiration. Please consider subscribing. Trust me, you will love it here. It's always warm. And if you're a returning subscriber of mine, I want to say thank you. Thank you for always coming back to support me. So you guys, I'm a Cameroonian who is based in South Korea. Okay, so today's video I'm going to be talking about something really interesting. Okay, so let's dive right into the video. So now I've been doing a lot of videos about lifestyle in Korea. I do my vlogs. People get to see places in Korea. People get to know more about South Korea. And to be honest with you, before coming to South Korea, I didn't even know about South Korea. I didn't know about the country. I knew nothing about. I didn't even know there was a place like Korea. You get? And many people make this mistake of confusing South Korea with North Korea. No, no, they are two different places. Okay, South Korea and North Korea. So I am in South Korea. Now I've been getting a lot of like engagement on my videos lately, and from the comment section, like people want to know more about Korea, about lifestyle in Korea, or how to come to South Korea. So I've decided to be doing videos about that. Okay, in addition to the vlogs, I'm going to be telling you all some things about South Korea, just because I believe that there are people like me who before now don't even know anything about South Korea. So through my videos, I believe some people will get to know more about South Korea. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about today is like in my opinion the easiest way to migrate to South Korea. Now the easiest way for me, I think, to come to South Korea is through school. Okay, so if you want to move to, if you are considering, especially for someone who is really young, if you're considering moving to South Korea, the easiest way for you to consider moving is by getting an admission in South Korea. And to be honest with you, getting an admission in Korea is not that difficult. Okay, it's very easy if you follow the steps, and you just like, every place has its rules. If you follow the steps, it will be very easy for you. Okay, now I'm just going to be giving you all a few hints in this video as to about the student visa, and the benefits of being of coming to South Korea as a student. Okay, now the first thing I'm going to say is, before you consider coming to South Korea for school, you have to make sure that, okay, like I was speaking for Cameroon. Okay, and it's pretty much applicable to other countries as well. Okay, now the first thing you need to do is make sure, okay, let's say if you're coming for a bachelor's degree program in Korea, you need to have your advanced level, and you have to make sure that you don't have a gap in your studies. That means after two, the highest you can is, I think, a 1 year gap. So you should not have like more than a 1 year gap in your studies, meaning that if you had completed your advanced level and you have a 2 year gap, you need to show them that within these 2 years I have been doing something. So they don't just want to see a gap. Let's say you graduated in 2010 and you're applying in 2020, or for example, let's just say you applied in 2000 or you graduated from high school in 2018, and in 2022 you're applying. They want to see like within that time and now, what have you been up to. So they want to see what you have been up to in the last part of your life. Okay, they don't just want to see like after your advanced level you were just sitting doing nothing, and then you want to apply after like 3 years, 4 years, when you've not been doing anything. So it can cost you a rejection of your application if they see that there's a gap in your studies. So you want to make sure that there's no gap or there's no study gap. It can cost you a rejection of your application. Now, another thing you need to consider is writing out. Okay, now the benefits of having IELTS is that schools in Korea, yes, they can accept your application without IELTS. It's possible. But the benefit of writing IELTS is that, first of all, with IELTS during your application, there's a possibility of you getting a scholarship. Okay, because mostly in Korea you can hardly get a scholarship as at the time of your application until you come here and study at least 1 semester, then you'll be qualified for a scholarship. Okay, so but what IELTS does is that IELTS helps you to get the possibility of getting a scholarship as at the time of an application, which is very, 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 very important. Now, after you get your if you get out, like Okay, let me say the procedure for Cameroon. I don't know for other countries, but what you really need is you need to get your documents certified. You have to go to your embassy, to the Korean embassy in your country, and you certify your documents. For us in Cameroon, what you need to do is you need to get confirmation of studies from the GCE board, the General Certificate of Education board, and you have to go to the Ministry of External Relations to certify your documents, and then you go to the Korean embassy to certify your documents before you apply. So it's a pretty straightforward process. And now, another thing you need is a genuine bank statement. I mean genuine bank statement. I mean, not those fake bank statements, because these people they'll verify your bank statement. So there are situations where people have gone to apply and they got banned because they used fake bank statements. Okay, and another thing you need to note about the bank statement is that this bank statement must either be in your name or in the name of your father or in the name of your mother. Your sponsor must be either you, your dad, or your mom. Okay, you cannot put an auntie or a relative. No, it's not acceptable in the Korean embassy. You just get rejected. And also, you cannot carry the bank statement from a credit union. It must be from a bank, and make sure that your account is at least an existing account and the account has been active for at least 6 months. Okay, sometimes it can be 3 4 months, but just make it 6 months to be on the safe side. Okay, now after you get all of these things, if you get the admission and your bank statement is on point, then there's no reason why you won't get your visa for South Korea. Okay, now moving on. Another thing you need to know about the student visa is that before coming to South Korea, okay, the agent, because I applied to an agency, and the agent told us that when you come to South Korea, you're not allowed to work as a student for the first 6 months, which is not true. Like when you come to Korea, as soon as your alien registration card comes out, you as a student, you're allowed to have a part-time job. It is only if you come here to study Korean language. If you come here to study Korean language, that is when you will need to wait for 6 months before you get a job legally. Okay. Now, so if you're a student if you are considering coming to South Korea for, you know, and again, Koreans, the study period for bachelor's degree in South Korea is 4 years. It's not like in Africa where we have 3 years. No, it's 4 years in South Korea. Okay. Someone had asked me about pay in South Korea. Okay, let's see the minimum pay. Like, okay, first of all, let me talk about the different kinds of jobs are that you can get here. That a lot of factory jobs. You can work in a restaurant. You can work in a pension. Those are the kind of jobs. They are mostly factories, all kinds of factories, clothes factories, fish factories. Um, there's a Korean kind of food called kimchi. There's kimchi factory, like all kinds of factories. Now you can work in a restaurant, or yeah, basically restaurants, pensions, or companies. Yeah, and then another thing you need to. Okay, someone had asked about the minimum pay. About pay, let's just say it differs. Okay, it depends on the kind of job you're doing. There's some jobs that pay you hourly. There's some jobs that pay you according to the amount of work you do. But the minimum pay, as I can say in Korea, is $8. Like, it's the minimum. Yeah, you can earn more than that. Okay, another thing, another benefit you have. Okay, like another benefit you have as a student is that it's possible for you to bring your spouse. You can bring your husband, you can bring your wife, even if you're a student. Yeah, it's possible for you to bring them on, and then they come here. But one thing about Korea is that they won't give you citizenship. Even if you have a child here, they won't give you citizenship. Okay, so if you're considering bringing your wife or child or children here, they're going to come under your visa, and they're going to be under the F3 kind of visa. Yeah, they're going to be under the F3 kind of visa. So basically that is it. Yeah, that is it about migrating to Korea as a student. And it's good because you can study and you can work at the same time. Yeah, it's easier when you come here. You integrate into the system. Okay, the only challenge we may have is the language problem, which takes a while to learn. But once you learn the language, or even if you know the basics of the language, it's still okay. So I just did this video because someone had requested in my comment section. I requested in my comment section that they wanted to know about lifestyle in Korea or how to migrate to Korea. So this is the first part of the video I've just done, talking about the best way, in my opinion, to migrate to South Korea, which is through the student visa. In Korea doesn't give citizenship. As I said earlier, they don't give their citizenship. Like, it's difficult. Yes, it's difficult to get the Korean citizenship. So the best way to migrate to this country is through the student visa. There are other countries like a few Asian countries like Nepal, like the Philippines, like then there is also Vietnam. Yeah, they have this program whereby they learn the Korean language in their countries and write an exam, and for them they can directly come for employment, like direct employment from their countries to Korea. But for other nationalities, it's a little bit tough because we don't have that option. So you cannot come to Korea through that means. As well as for South Korea, the only people legally allowed to teach English are those Australia, Canada, US. The only African country allowed to teach English in South Korea legally is South Africa. So if you're also in South Africa, you want to consider moving to Korea, maybe the best way for you to think about is come and teach English in Korea. But if you're not, and you're not from Australia, Canada, US, which country? Yeah, I think there's Australia, Canada, US, Ireland, Britain, and South Africa. Yeah, if you're not from any of these countries, you won't don't even consider teaching English in Korea because you're not going to be allowed to teach. So I believe that in this video I've tried to answer some of the questions. If you have more questions or things you want to know about South Korea, you can let me know in my comment section. I'll be very happy to reply to you. So this is just a part of the video I've done. There's another part I'm going to be doing again based on the request of another subscriber of mine. Okay, so for now, let's leave it here. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I thank you for your time. Please don't forget to like my video, share me out, subscribe, turn your notification bell so that you get notified each time I post a new video. God bless you all. Until next time, bye.